With how broken Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 has been, it's been a bit of an effort to find things that are fun to do in the sim that aren't likely to cause you to pull all your hair out. One of the most fun things that you can currently do in Flight Sim 2024 though, that takes advantage specifically of a feature that's in Flight Sim 2024 is to fly helicopters low to the ground. And in this video I'm going to tell you why this is so fun, things to be aware of when you're doing this, and how to get the most fun out of this activity. Some settings, some locations, and you're still going to fly into the ground anyway, so I don't know why I bother telling you guys things. Welcome to everybody that just clicked the subscribe button. Remember, you have to subscribe so you can unsubscribe. Thank you for clicking the like button. On with the video. Helicopters, they're so fun. Helicopters can't do wrong unless your engine turns off at a low altitude or speed, in which case you're dead. Flying low to the ground in Flight Sim 2020 was really good fun and much better than many other simulators. However, in Flight Sim 2024, Microsoft have massively increased the graphical quality of things at ground level. Cities are still a little bit wonky, but the countryside is absolutely superb. Now, of the ground details, the tessellation and stuff looks fantastic. However, the biggest thing that's changed and really magnifies helicopter flying is the quality of the grass, which is the most important thing in any video game. Fans of this channel should know that by now. But also the amount of grass that's there. Now I want you guys to have fun, so I'm just going to tell you straight away settings to be aware of and what really makes this low-level helicopter flying chooch along nicely. So the first thing I found is that you can actually put the grass on a really high setting. I put it one down from the top setting, and we don't get that much of a frame rate impact from that, and then the whole screen is covered in beautiful, beautiful grass. Now, another setting to be aware of is that trees do actually put a lot of strain on your computer and affect frame rate really badly. Also, too many trees actually make low-level flying less enjoyable because you end up having less gaps and bits to fly through. So I've personally found putting trees on medium is really the optimal setting. It will look fantastic as well and look great when you're doing other flying, but it means that the game runs smooth, but you also will get much more nice little gaps and bits to fly your helicopter through. Top notch. Now, another really big setting, and probably the most important one, I should have said it first, is you have the plant setting, the Flora setting, which controls stuff like bushes and in some locations, small trees. Now, unfortunately, even if you run that on Ultimate on really high details, you get loads of popping of these quite big bushes and objects, and they really could distract you and also make you think you're going to fly into a tree when actually it's a bush and you could just fly straight through it. So I turn the Flora setting off completely, and I actually think it's a better all-round look. So it's a really nice thing to just turn off and not worry about it. Probably depends more on which location you're at as to if the Flora is a bush versus looking like a tree. But as I say, the pop-up just looks absolutely terrible and really ruins the immersion. Of course, though, if you do turn the Flora off, you won't be able to butter your landings anymore. So, yeah, those are the really big settings. You can also turn the rocks off as well if you don't like that popping again. I could put them on the low setting. Another one worth mentioning, actually, if you're flying really low to the ground and you're going over rivers and things, I find the screen space reflections really off-putting because they don't update immediately, and obviously I'm such a fast, sexy, skilled pilot, it just throws me off because it's like I'm drunk flying. So I actually turn the screen space reflections off as well and just run the cube map reflections or whatever they're called, and you might actually find that looks better in many ways. Not good for screenshots, but if you're purely flying and you're in the groove of going through the grass valleys and hills, you'll probably really appreciate it. Now, in terms of locations, as I say, cities and built-up areas are not really the best, and they kind of look a bit janky and post-apocalyptic still on the ground. They look fantastic about 500 foot up, but any lower, it's still like zombie film going on. So I would really say look for countryside locations that don't have the photogrammetry, and look specifically for nice rolling hills. In the video here, we're actually in Uganda, I believe, and there's loads of like nice terrain there that's flowing. Sometimes you might think, oh, big valleys, that'll be exciting. But actually, the larger areas with huge valleys, the valleys are too big. There's a sort of optimal rolling hill avoiding trees, or small types of valleys with nice little gullies that are going to be more fun to fly. So look out for anything that resembles a Windows XP wallpaper and you'll have a good time. But if you're bored of grass, which really you shouldn't be, I mean, if you're bored of grass, get out, you're not welcome on this channel. But if you're bored of that, what you need to then look for are small-ish rivers, especially coming off mountain ranges, or even just quite nice countryside rivers. Again, there's a sweet spot in that you don't want a huge river like the River Thames, one of the worst and most boring rivers in the world, and you don't want a stream, a tiny little stream, because you probably can't fit your helicopter up it. Also, you want to look out for rivers that have just the right flow to them. You'll need to just do this yourself, load some locations up in free flight and get a feel for what type of rivers are actually the right flow for your skill level. But I'd say there's the river that goes out from Seattle all the way up to Mount Rainier. That's a really nice, that's quite wide and quite easy to get into and then gets thinner. And New Zealand, the land or world or location of jet boating and very small people and more sheep than people. Jet boat rivers are the absolute perfect thing for helicopters. Check out jet boat racing if you haven't, guys. You'll enjoy it. It's better than Formula 1, but mind you, pummeling your face with a brick is better than Formula 1, so maybe that's not a good comparison. But yeah, flying up rivers and finding the right type of river, absolutely superb. So that is pretty much it, really. Those are the main things to be aware of, and I think you'll have a really, really great time whilst we wait for Microsoft to still fix huge glaring issues with the career mode and some of the other aspects of the game. Final tip, because this is something that I didn't notice until more recently whilst we were flying quite high in the helicopter. Make sure that you have a fuel richness bound in the helicopter so that you can actually control the fuel richness. As you go higher, you might need to reduce the fuel richness to keep the engine going. And then also, the trim settings and stuff in game seem a bit broken. I'm using a really nice force feedback joystick that has a physical trim on it. Hopefully they fix that in the 9th of December update, but we'll have to wait and see. Worst case, you can still do this kind of stuff in a plane if you need to, until you get used to helicopters or until they fix some of the stuff with the helicopters. But I'm absolutely loving doing this. This could be the whole game for me. Don't need anything else. So I look forward to seeing you. We'll be doing this in a live stream as well, and we should hopefully have a nice gaggle of helicopters all flying along, creating clouds and dust, which does look amazing. And probably crashing into each other. So that's it, really. I just really wanted to let you guys know about this, how awesome this is, and those settings, as I say. So hopefully this helped you. If it did, great. If it didn't, well, I mean, you just had it right. So why are you watching this video in the first place? But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Happy tea drinking. Take care and goodbye.